you be able to speak under pressure easily? Well, I'm going to share with you today a huge mistake that a lot of times leaders will make as it relates to speaking under pressure. Now, if you have ever been in a leadership role, maybe you are a woman in a leadership role, or you might be a man in a leadership role, how you speak under pressure is critically important. And if you want to learn the mistake that leaders make when they're speaking under pressure, then you absolutely want to watch this video until the end. On this channel specifically, if you are new to me, hello, and welcome. If you are one of my amazing subscribers, welcome back, friends. This channel heavily focuses on advanced communication skills and strategies. My mission here is to help you be able to communicate more confidently and concisely under pressure. If you happen to be a woman in leadership, you are in my direct target audience that I provide executive coaching and consultation services to. You're welcome to reach out to me at exciteexcellence.org and let's have a conversation. You're welcome to schedule an executive strategy session or any other services that are on my site. If you happen to be a man in leadership or someone that is thinking about leadership and you're not sure just yet, I guarantee you that you are going to gain a tremendous amount of value on this channel. This is the only channel on YouTube that will help you to be able to communicate more confidently and concisely under pressure, that talks about real strategies. There's a lot of channels out here that talk about theories and hypotheses and leadership models. This is not the channel. So if you're ready to learn how to really pass the test of being under fire as a leader, best place for you to be at. You're welcome to subscribe to the channel or take a look at a couple of videos on my live tab. Now let's talk about the number one mistake that leaders make when they are speaking under pressure. And that number one mistake that leaders make when they are speaking under pressure is to not prepare in advance. You may be thinking, how in the world, how can you prepare for an under pressure situation? How can you prepare for a hard conversation that comes your way that you didn't expect? How can you prepare to not freeze when you speak to a group of people? How can you prepare to handle a situation when someone interrupts you as a leader or as a woman in leadership? You have to prepare. And even though as caught off guard, I would say, these settings are, when they happen, there are still ways for you to be able to prepare for these situations. Now, I want to give you a couple of strategies that will help you to be able to start preparing so that when these situations come up, you're not making the mistake as most leaders make when they are not preparing for those complex situations come up when they're speaking under pressure. One of the things that you can do to prepare is to identify your triggers. Now, I talk about this a lot on my channel. This by far is probably one of the most important strategies I share with my clients in a one-on-one setting or in a group setting. You have to know what makes you upset. And a lot of times, if you do not know what makes you upset, when that situation happens, that circumstance occurs, or that scenario presents itself, it makes it very, very, very difficult for you to be able to communicate confidently under pressure. Now, my second strategy for you when this situation actually happens is to make sure that you have a way that you personally process pressured information. Now, let's say, for instance, if you're speaking to a group of people and perhaps you're speaking to a board, your business associates, or someone else, and they ask you a harder or more complex question, how exactly do you manage that question? Well, let me give you an example. If you need more time to process that question, I share this a lot on my channel, you may need to buy yourself time to answer the question. How can you do this? One of the great ways for you to buy yourself time, and this is an example, someone gives you a hard question and you're thinking, I don't know how to process that, I don't even know what to say. Don't say, I don't know what to say. Put the question back on them. There may be an aspect of that question that may be unclear and that you may not understand appropriately, and you want them to clarify specifically what it is that they mean. This is a fantastic way for you to be able to communicate confidently under pressure when that situation comes up. Because once you give that question back to the person, they're processing it and they're thinking, well, how did I answer that? How did I ask that question? What is it that I need to rephrase? That gives you time to think about a response while they are rephrasing what they were trying to say. This is a fantastic way for you to be able to speak under pressure. And as I mentioned, the reason why leaders get this wrong is because they do not prepare. If you are at a point in your leadership journey where you know that you are in a more highly visible role, there's a possibility that you may be faced with those very difficult conversations, or you are already in a very high stakes, high pressure situation as a leader or in your role by default, then you absolutely want to prepare. And the way I prepare to do this is by having conversations just like this and providing them with that customized one-on-one support that I am not able to give necessarily in a group setting such as on YouTube to help you on your journey. So I want to say hello, and welcome to those of you joining the live today. Let me know where you all are joining from today and what questions you have about communicating under pressure. I will give you some insight today. Now, as I mentioned, we talked about 2 strategies so far. First is know your triggers. Second is to make sure you have there's some type of a plan that you need to have in terms of how you are processing complex information. And if you need more time to respond, ask a clarifying question to give you time to think about it. Now, I do want to share with you one more strategy today that will help you if you are in those situations so that you don't make this mistake of not preparing. One of the things that happens when we are caught off guard, when we are in those pressure situations, as I mentioned, you may be speaking with a board, you may be doing a presentation and having a question and answer session that may be a bit more challenging than what you expected. You may be in an interview or in a salary negotiation or having a difficult conversation. One of the reasons why people are caught off guard is because they don't plan in advance. So knowing your triggers, having a way that you specifically process challenging situations is critical. And my third strategy I want to share with you this morning is that you have to put yourself in a mindset where you still are remaining calm, even if the situation or the conversation is very frustrating to you. Now, how do you do that? One of the ways you can help yourself to remain very calm is by making sure that you have your own way of regulating challenges and issues whenever they come up. Specifically, if something happens to you, how do you manage stress? What are some of the things that you do to manage stress? A lot of times people don't really take time to think about that and they just respond just immediately out of emotions. How many of you have ever been in a situation where you've had a conversation with a leader or someone where you saw that their emotions just took over them? I've had that happen many, many times, which is the reason why I mention this, because it's critically important for you to be able to do this. Being calm under pressure is a critical component of developing your executive presence and being that leader that stands out. Do not be the leader that basically loses it under pressure, because when the room is watching you, they are going to take note of that. And when there's another opportunity that comes up, or when those high pressure situations arise, they're going to think, we're going to bypass that leader and we're going to go with this one that appears more calm. This is the fundamental steps that you need to have if you are speaking under pressure. If you want some support like on this specifically, and you are a woman in leadership, you're welcome to reach out to me for an executive strategy session. I will provide you with some insight and we'll go into a deep dive in terms of how I can help you. I do have a new service that I'm offering here very soon. I have not formally released it just yet, but it is going to be a complete game changer for anyone that is in a highly visible role that anticipates being under pressure. It is a one-of-a-kind type of service that you will absolutely want to have if you are truly ready to be able to master how you communicate under pressure. So I hope this gives you some insight to consider. If you are new to the channel, there's a couple videos you will want to take a look at if you're trying to start learning, well, how can I get better with this? Now that I know that I can, how can I do it? Take a look at a couple videos on my channel that talk about thinking on your feet, controlling your emotions under pressure, body language, eye contact, tone of voice. Any of those videos will give you a very solid foundation in terms of how you can start communicating more concisely and confidently under pressure. I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.